I didn't think that somebody like you, Carol, who I only know from a distance, would consciously or even unconsciously use such a word now, not because of this overworked term political correctness, but merely out of courtesy.
Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we're examining our picks for the most infamous times British-based TV and radio interviewers saw their public images or careers collapse due to a shocking scandal.
In my dressing room one day, something happened.
We'll explore what exactly happened and the aftermath.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Robert KilroySilk.
Hello and good morning. Do you love your mother? Most people do, I suppose.
Having first gotten his start in politics, KilroySilk walked away from Parliament in 1986 and set up his own talk show, Kilroy. All was fine for him until 2004. That year, he published an article in the Sunday Express that was filled with racist statements and mockery of various nations and demographics.
You stand by what you said, don't you?
I stand by the way of what I said in the manner in which I've just explained.
This included his claim that Arabs give nothing to the world except oil. Yikes. Due to the massive backlash and his lacklustre apology, the BBC cancelled Kilroy. KilroySilk's secretary, Hilary Hunter, defended him by claiming he couldn't be racist as he had employed a black driver. Double yikes. With his TV career in tatters, KilroySilk went back to politics with mixed success.
Now, despite quite a bit of negative publicity, Robert says he's not a nasty person.
Alex Bellfield. In 2010, Bellfield was working for BBC Radio Leeds when he made a lewd comment about a weather presenter, resulting in a suspension, and his contract was later not renewed. He then created a YouTube channel that focused on free speech topics. In 2021, Bellfield's career ground to a halt when he was charged with 12 counts of stalking, including against presenters Stephanie Hurst and Jeremy Vine.
I think if the courts hadn't stopped Alex Bellfield, somebody would have died.
In 2022, Bellfield was sentenced to 5.5 years in prison, where he then gave a speech where he acted like a victim. But his fall doesn't end there. In 2024, Bellfield lost a libel case against him after he slandered one of the investigating police officers and had to pay damages.
Do you want to apologise to people that you upset?
James Whale. Having been a radio DJ since 1970, Whale has had a long and storied career in the industry. After all, he was fired from talk radio for encouraging listeners to vote for Boris Johnson in the London mayoral elections. Yet any goodwill he had accumulated over the years took a severe hit in 2018 after returning to the station.
The Me Too campaign has made men worry about the way they interact with women at work.
And so they should be.
He interviewed journalist and author Nikki Hodgson as she detailed her experience of being assaulted. Whale was shown on camera mocking what Hodgson said, laughing at and interrogating her. Outrage was big enough that talk radio suspended Whale.
He can be seen to be laughing when I actually described the assault, which was just kind of boggling to me.
He was eventually reinstated and apologised on his show, but the damage to his image was done. Ofcom investigated the interview and found it broke broadcasting rules.
The idea that a victim who doesn't have media experience like I do could have been on air and questioned like that is absolutely appalling to me.
Carol Thatcher. In 2006, after raising her profile by appearing on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, Thatcher joined the One Show team as a contributor. The daughter of former Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher saw her TV career go up in smoke in 2009. While backstage at the Australian Open, Thatcher was heard using racial insults against French tennis player Jo-Wilfried Tsonga.
A character so offensive to some, it was taken off Robinson's jam jars.
Adrian Chiles and Joe Brand, who were there as well, were reportedly outraged by the comments. Thatcher was given the chance by the Beeb to issue an unconditional apology, but instead went with an insincere one, trying to justify what she said.
Ms Thatcher said she stood by her original remarks.
The broadcaster fired Thatcher from her role, and she fell into relative obscurity.
Not because of this overworked term political correctness, but merely out of courtesy, common humanity. I really was surprised by it.
Yeah. Sorry to shock you, Lord Kinnock.
Saxgate.
Tonight calls for the two stars to be sacked as Ofcom launches an investigation.
In 2008, Russell Brand was juggling his self-titled show on BBC Radio 2 alongside an aspiring film and comedy career. In one episode, fellow radio presenter and talk show host Jonathan Ross was a guest co-host. They were meant to have Fawlty Towers actor Andrew Sachs call in for an interview. However, when he didn't answer his phone, Ross and Brand left derogatory voice messages on air involving Brand's relationship with his granddaughter, Georgina Bailey.
I said some things I didn't have oughta, like I had sex with your granddaughter.
The outrage was so huge that MPs criticised it, and the incident received a record number of complaints. Ross was suspended, leading to his eventual departure from the broadcaster in 2010. Brand resigned from the BBC, and his radio career never recovered.
I was being really silly and got caught up in the spirit of the moment, and it was certainly not my intention to hurt Andrew.
Piers Morgan.
Your BMI is 64.6.
Do you think that Angelina doesn't know all of this?
No.
For a time, Morgan was one of the biggest broadcasters on UK TV with his work on Good Morning Britain. But then he let his obsession with Meghan Markle take over. After she reportedly skipped having drinks with him, Morgan was on a rampage of revenge, taking shots whenever he could. He even outwardly refused to believe Markle when she spoke about her mental health struggles.
Is that the first part of that allegation, we don't know any of the details or who said it or how they said it, and the second one is completely untrue. Meghan just got it wrong.
This led to his colleague, Alex Beresford, criticising him on air. Did Morgan take it well? Of course not. He walked off set.
OK, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
So, do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can track him, maybe not my own.
No.
After the show, Morgan resigned from ITV, as people complained to Ofcom about his behaviour and mocked him. Nowadays, he's running Piers Morgan Uncensored on YouTube after leaving Talk TV. Phillip Schofield. If he wasn't hosting This Morning, Schofield was spread across many ITV shows, such as Dancing on Ice and The Cube. Seemingly, he could do no wrong. In 2020, Schofield announced he was gay and had separated from his wife. In 2023, rumours emerged that he had fallen out with longtime colleague and friend Holly Willoughby. Not long after that, Schofield resigned from This Morning. It was discovered he had had an affair with an ITV colleague and lied about it.
I was older. I should have known better. I shouldn't have done it.
Schofield had met the person when he was a teenager and had helped him get a job at the broadcaster. Schofield stated the affair started when the worker was of age. On top of resigning from ITV, Schofield was also dropped by his talent agency.
Firstly, are you okay? I hope so. Feels very strange indeed sitting here without Phil.
Bill Grundy.
They are punk rockers. The new craze, they tell me.
At one point, Grundy was a well-respected broadcaster who anchored Grenada when news of John F. Kennedy's assassination broke. But then the Sex Pistols arrived on the Today Show in 1976 for an interview. Throughout, Grundy showed no respect for the punk rockers who replaced Queen on the show after a medical emergency. He took shots at them, belittled them, and was combative to the entourage.
Are you worried or are you just enjoying yourself?
Enjoying myself.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's what I thought you were doing.
On top of the interview being filled with cursing, viewers were astonished by what they'd witnessed, causing the regional show to become national news. Grundy was suspended and Today was later cancelled. He claimed he succeeded by proving the Sex Pistols were a foul-mouthed set of yobs.
We'll meet afterwards, shall we?
You dirty son. You dirty old man.
Yet while their careers took off, Grundy's went the other way. Daav Le Travis. Beginning his DJ career in 1965, Travis worked his way up, becoming a household name on the BBC, even presenting Top of the Pops. His work on A Jolly Good Show was credited by Aung San Suu Kyi for giving her a lifeline during her house arrest. But in 2012, Operation U-Tree arrested Travis over several incidents of assault. In 2012, he was acquitted on most counts, with the jury unable to reach a verdict for 2. In 2014, Travis faced these charges, plus an additional one in court. He was found guilty of one charge and received a suspended sentence of 3 months, drawing outrage for its leniency. After being found guilty, the BBC removed Travis's Top of the Pops episodes from rotation. Martin Bashier. Even after Bashier was fired by MSNBC in 2013 for terrible comments against Sarah Palin, he still had his reputation in the UK to fall back on. After all, in 1995, he was responsible for bringing the infamous Princess Diana interview to Panorama. In it, she spoke about her failing marriage to Charles and her mental health struggles.
Do you think you'll ever be Queen?
However, in 2021, a report was published about all the ethical breaches Bashier was responsible for. He had forged bank statements to make it appear that those close to Diana and her brother, Charles Spencer, had been spying on them. Bashier tried claiming the forgeries had little impact on the interview, but many disagreed. Bashier resigned from the BBC shortly before the review was publicised. Who's the best UK interviewer of all time? Trevor McDonald, Michael Parkinson, Emily Maitlis, David Frost, or someone else? Let us know below.
We made a mistake, we crossed the line, I'm not going to work for the BBC anymore.